It's used to good effect all over the world, and I see a lot of countries use a lot of tongue ties.
In this series, Get a Grip on Gear, we check out racing gear, its role and how it can help a horse race to its best ability. Last time, we looked at pressure halters.
They would use it at the start to stop them from rearing up or trying to take off.
This week is all about tongue ties and why some horses need them for peak performance and others not. Garth, Eric and Mark are once again to the fore as we find out more. Let's jump right in.
Quid Pro Quo exploding through on the outside.
Quid Pro Quo, Imilenzeyokududuma, Hotarubi and Gladatorian are just a few of the many feature race winners who race with tongue ties.
And Gladatorian will win it.
So why use them?
Often a horse would put his tongue back in work, and doing that it closes up his windpipe and causes him to not to get the right amount of airflow and oxygen in. So you're actually just preventing the horse from pulling his tongue back and choking himself, basically.
Unlike humans, horses cannot breathe through their mouths. This is due to an anatomical structure called the soft palate. It's a flexible and muscular structure at the back of the mouth which ensures that air moves directly from the horse's nostrils into the trachea and on into the lungs. It sounds simple and is when all is working normally. But it causes consternation for trainers and owners of horses in racing. Why, you may ask? Because it's the only way for horses to breathe and get the much needed oxygen when galloping at speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour.
So basically a tongue tie is to help horses breathe. So when a horse, its normal apparatus, it opens and closes like this, as it opens to breathe and then closes, and you have an epiglottis which then sits on top of the soft palate. But in some horses you get displacement of the soft palate. So basically the soft palate ends up sitting on top of the epiglottis, and as a result the horse's respiratory apparatus doesn't work as well as it should, and that obviously has a knock-on effect onto the horse's performance. So a tongue tie, it basically ties the tongue down and limits the amount of movement the tongue has within the mouth, and that helps prevent the displacement of the soft palate above the epiglottis. We use a crepe bandage, so it's crepe bandage, but some guys use stockings. There is a rubber type of tongue tie, but it's almost like tying a shoelace.
It needs to be tight enough to keep the tongue in position, but not so tight that it's uncomfortable.
The trainers are supposed to fit the tongue ties themselves. If they need redoing at the start, we'll redo them. But the catch is if you can't get a tongue tie on a horse at the start, the horse will be scratched.
You'd put it on after you've saddled the horse up. The last part of equipment that would go on would be the tongue tie. You'd go off into the parade ring, down to the start, you'd race, come back. As he comes in the parade ring, we cut it off.
The displacement, it does happen fairly often, and we scope horses pretty much on a daily basis, and you see the displacement. Intermittent is okay, but when it becomes more permanent, the horse makes a bit of a gargling noise during running and often at the pull-up, and that's an indication that he's displacing. So yeah, we do a fair amount of tongue ties.
These kind of things are tried at work first. You don't come to a race day and put it on and then hope that the horse is going to run well. You'll put it on at home and he will get used to it, and you'll then do fast work one day with him and put it on. And you yourself will listen to the difference in his breathing, to hear that he wasn't gurgling at the pull-up, that his airflow was clear, and obviously then you know that it is working. And I must say it's been pretty successful.
They are effective. There are some horses that don't respond to it, and then you have something called a cornell collar, which is a piece of equipment that basically fits on almost like a bridle as such. But it's got an apparatus that pushes up under the throat. So again, you can't have it too loose, otherwise it doesn't work, and too tight restricts the breathing. And that the job of the cornell collar is basically to lift the larynx, which is your throat, to lift it up and forward. And that's also to prevent the displacement of the soft palate above the epiglottis. But that needs to be declared. You need a vet certificate to fit one of those, and once it's on the horse. Should you take it off, you're never allowed to use it again for races.
That's interesting. that brings the first series of Get a Grip on Gear to an end. We hope you've enjoyed watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this.